Just want to make a few comments about Toto Vader's video on socialized medicine and the subsidy problem. The word morality came up at the end, and I'm well aware of what this often means when Americans talk about morality and taxation. It's something usually something along the lines of it's immoral for the government to steal at gunpoint the dollars that I've earned. That is a peculiarly American view of morality. I think Europeans would more look at things like are there great disparities of, just for example, infant mortality between rich and poor, and between people of different ethnicity. We would ask if healthcare is provided via health insurance, are there any conditions or illnesses you could be born with that you would not be able to get cover for? They are the sort of issues that we would look at over morality. There was an editorial in August, what date? 8th of August, in the New York Times, looking at the issue of healthcare, and on the issue of fairness it says, the United States ranks dead last on almost all measures of equity because we have the greatest disparity in the quality of care given to richer and poorer citizens. So really, maybe it's immoral by the standards of America, but if people from other countries are quite happy to pay taxes into a system because they feel a sense of community, I suppose the word socialist is not too dissimilar to the word society, and we want social cohesion where we would be ill at ease if earning more money meant that you lived longer or your children were less likely to die in childbirth. If we decide that we want that level of social cohesion, we've every right, and it's not immoral. No, the American view is not necessarily the right one at all times. Similarly, the idea that if the government do something, it's always going to be done badly. Well, that might be the experience of the United States, but in other countries, the government, and let's face it, if you've got a government-run transport department, things like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's micromanaged by the government. You still have competent people running things. You would still have clinicians making clinical decisions. It doesn't mean it will be done badly. And so, on cost, I see the argument, but you've got to then go Google and look for statistics and see, does providing subsidy, does socialised medicine, does it translate into an expensive healthcare system? I can see that the absence of competition might lead you to think that, but it's not necessarily the case. I know that in Britain, healthcare professionals are not highly paid. I'm sure doctors are paid higher in the United States. Whenever there's any risk of wage inflation in the economy, the one thing the government can control is public sector pay, and so they will always negotiate very tight wage rises with people in the public sector. So that's it. Just coming to the word socialised and socialist, I know they're very dirty words in America, and a lot of people think liberal equals socialist equals communist. It's not the case. There are people who call themselves socialists. Certainly in France, the Socialist Party is one of the two main parties. in Britain are socialists, but yeah. America still seem to equate it to the risk of communism in the Cold War, but that's definitely another subject.